Welcome all of you to our webinar. I am Gireja. I am part of academic solution team at Varthana. As all of you know, Varthana is non-banking finance company who supports schools through financial and by providing financial and academic help. So whenever the schools and students need any kind of financial support, Varthana provide loans to them. Along with this, Varthana also provide academic support through various programs. So in this regard, we have started conducting webinars from last 1 year. And this year we have conducted webinars on goal setting, ECE, positive behavior management. And in this, to this continuation, our today's topic is bridging learning gap after the summer break. Varthana is providing a webinar participation certificate as well. For that, we'll be sharing a feedback form at the end of the webinar. So please fill correct details so you can get your participation certificate. Let's move ahead with our topics and quickly go through today's agenda. So we'll start with the introduction and session objective. Then we'll do a context setting. Then we'll talk about summer break learning gap and its impact. Then we see the strategies to bridge the learning gap. Then we talk about the Varthana program and close our webinar with the feedback. So in today's session, we'll be focusing on two things. First is to understand the summer break learning gap and its importance in setting the tone for the year. Second is to learn different strategies to bridge the learning gap. Before I start and deep dive into the topic, let me do a little bit context setting here and move ahead and see what kind of trends we are seeing in the students when they are coming after the summer break. So their data and research is showing when the students are coming back after the summer break, students lose 2 months of grade level in maths and reading after the summer break. Due to this loss, teacher are whenever at the beginning of the academic year, teachers are spending first 4 to 6 weeks to just cover up their losses. And these learning gaps majorly happening and it is impacting to the students who are coming from the low income background. So the data is clearly saying the summer break is impacting student and its learning. And now I would like to know from all of you, are you seeing similar issues and challenges in your students as well when they are coming back after the summer break? For that, I'm again releasing a poll. Please vote. Please vote. You can see that on your screen. Okay, so 91% people said yes, they are seeing this similar challenges and issues in the students when they are coming back to schools. So these challenges and these issues called the summer learning loss. Let's move ahead and see what this summer learning loss. So summer learning loss is a setback in loss of specific skills and knowledge. It is happening due to the extended break or whenever students are going for this summer holiday. It's set back the student in the year and they fall behind. And what kind of loss is happening due to the summer learning loss in students? So when the students are coming back, they are losing 17% to 34% in their previous learning. Then in maths, they are losing 25 to 50%, and it is impacting the learning skills as well. They are losing the reading, writing, and spelling skills. Now we have see what is the summer learning loss and what kind of losses it is happening in students. Let's move ahead and see why it is happening. So use it or lose it. So we all know, right? Whenever we are not using particular knowledge and skill for that particular time, we tend to forget it. Same thing is happening in the students as well, because due to this summer or due to this gap, they are not using what they have learned in previous year in schools. So that's why they are losing it. And the other reasons are there's no proper engagement after once this schools are done, exams are done, when they are going in this summer, there's no proper engagement where students have this interaction with their learning, which happened in previous years so far. Even though schools are giving the homework and other learning activities, there's no support from the parents so they have this lack of support in their families. Other, there's lack of resources as well. So if many students they don't have these textbooks and other learning material through which they can engage in this learning, and the family is not also available. So mostly our students are coming from the low family income background. Their parents first, they don't know how to support the students, they are not literate much, and then they don't have a time as well. So due to this summer loss is happening. Let's move ahead and see how this loss is impacting the students. So this summer loss is impacting the students performance, because in the during this gap they are losing some kind of skills and concepts, and this losing this concept and the skills, it is impacting their long term learning as well, when they are reaching to the higher grades or they are going to the colleges. They It is impacting their class transition as well, because they are losing the new learning ability due to the summer. And when they are losing this skills, it is impacting their social emotional development level. They are losing the confidence and they are feeling demotivated. So research is saying the summer learning loss is cumulative. If we don't address this on time and whenever the students are coming back to school, it can create gap of 2 up to 5 years by the time student reached high school. So it is very important for us to address this gap whenever the students are coming back to schools at the initial of the year, to set the tone for the whole year. Now we have seen how this summer learning loss is impacting students, and why it is important to address at the beginning. Now I would look to know from all of you, when the students are coming back to the schools, what kind of learning, what type of learning gaps you are seeing in the students. And for that, I'm again releasing a poll. You can see a poll on your screen. I request to all of you, please do participate. Okay. So you can see 55% people have said all kind of gaps, learning gaps they are seeing in the students when they are coming back to schools. Second is that they are seeing second, communication gap, then motivation, 22% said the motivation gap, and 15% said the skill gap, and the 17% said the knowledge gap. So as all of you said, mostly people said all kind of gaps are happening in the students. Let's move ahead and understand what these learning gaps are. So first is the skill gap. This is a skill gap is the gap between the skill what students are supposed to know and what their current level are. For example, students are supposed to know the to understand to understand division. They are supposed to know the multiplication, but they know only the addition here. So is a skill gap. Another is a knowledge gap. It's a student doesn't know the correct information, and they have lack of exposure to that information. So if we are teaching them the student a respiration and they don't have the idea about any information about the organs, so it's a knowledge gap. Another is the motivation gap. Is the lack of motivation, and student doesn't want, not feel enough to motivate to learn new grade level learning. And another is the communication gap. Say students, when they are coming back to the classes, they are not interacting with the students, they are not interacting with the teachers. So now we have understand the what kind of different learning gaps are. I'm pretty sure you must all have like tried to reduce this gap and try to overcome these learning gaps. So I would like to know from all of you, what kind of methods and strategies have you used to overcome learning gaps in your students whenever they are coming after the summer break or any gap. For that, you can use Q&A box, and you can raise your hand as well if you want to speak. I can see 3. Okay, Rajesh sir, I have given you permission to speak. If you want to share your thoughts, you can unmute yourself and speak. Hello, Rajesh sir, I have given you permission to speak. If you want to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak. Maybe Rajesh sir is facing some issues. Bharti ma'am, I have given you permission to speak. Unmute yourself and you can speak now. Okay, I have seen few people are said they have conducted the bridge classes to address this learning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For this to overcome this learning gap, we should take remedial classes for the students. For example, like we will start with the if they are in the lower classes, then from A to Z, that from cursive also we can take, and we have to take numbers, spellings for maths, like this small things. At least first we have to take 4 5 days when we start the school.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Definitely, we should address this small, what ma'am said, these address through the remediation to cover this learning loss. A few have said this, one have said this, they are doing daily drilling. They're asking interesting questions from the students to bridge this gap. So maybe I can see few more have raised their hand. Poonam ma'am, I have given you permission to speak if you want to speak. You have to unmute yourself and then you can speak. Suren sir, I have given you permission to speak. If you want to speak, please unmute yourself, then you can speak.
Yeah, actually, we can take, a pre-knowledge test for the kids to understand that what is their level now, and then we can go ahead with the remedials. And obviously, the first month we have a recap session only, and then later on the settling period is done, and yeah, definitely we start with the class.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. Definitely, as you said, we can first identify where the students are, and accordingly we can provide the support to them. Suren sir, if you want to speak, like I have given you permission to speak. Sunita ma'am, I have given you permission to speak. If you want to speak, please unmute yourself. I can see other responses as revise the previous portion, student participation method. Okay, let's move ahead. So you all of you are doing a lot of following a lot of strategies which to address this learning gap. Some of you are doing this, asking the interesting questions, doing the remediation, revising the portions. So these strategies can be impactful. Few strategies maybe not giving the desired result what we are expecting. So let's move ahead and see what are the different ways we can address this learning gap. First is the revision. So some have also said we can revise this previous concept what we have taught in our previous classes. So mostly schools use this revision to address the learning gap. So what we do in the revision is we are revising the concept what we have taught in previous class or so far. So first we teach the concept, and the second step is we are revising the concept. So for example, if the third grade level students are coming, if we taught them multiplication in second grade, so first we are teaching that multiplication to them, then next day we are revising that concept, this concept to the students. Through this we can address the learning loss. Here in revision we are mainly focusing on the knowledge what they have gained in the previous classes. This can be one of the way to address the learning loss, but it's not very effective way to address the learning loss. To understand to address this learning style, it is very important, as the Poonam ma'am said, right, it is very important to understand what are the current learning level of our students. So for that we we should do this remediation. So what we do in the remediation is we are diagnose the student first and then we are intervening. So like in diagnosing we are we are knowing what are current learning level of the students when the students are coming back to student. If the third grade students, what's his or her learning levels, is it like grade 1 or grade 2? So remediation will help in diagnosis. It will help you to understand what is the current learning level of that student, and based on that you can provide the support. For example, if there are 30 students in the class, so 10 students in diagnosis, it is saying 10 students know the multiplication, 10 know the addition, and 10 know the both of this. So you can focus starting teaching 10 student about the addition because they don't know the addition, and again 20 students you can teach the multiplication together, and the other 10 who knows the concept you can also teach them, and they will also revise with this. So through this you are teaching the student based on their current learning level. So in remediation we are generally focusing on the foundation knowledge and skill which students is supposed to know to acquire the another next level learning. Here we are teaching the students what we have learned in their previous classes. So this is one of the way remediation, one of the way we can address the learning loss. Another way is the acceleration. So in the acceleration we are focusing on the skills which students is supposed to know to acquire or learn the next concept, and focusing on these required skills and concept we are speeding up the learning. So here in acceleration what we are doing, for example, if we are supposed to teach multiplication to the students, so if we are teaching the student on the addition, how they can do the addition, and based on that we are teaching them on the multiplication, or if we are teaching them the division, they are supposed to know the subtraction, so we are teaching them the subtraction. So based on the requirement of that concept or that skill we are teaching them and speeding up the learning. Here we generally focusing on new grade level learnings or knowledge students are supposed to know to learn the new concept. So in remediation, we are focusing, here's the difference. In remediation, we are focusing on the foundation knowledge and the skills, what students have learned so far till previous grade. In acceleration, we are focusing on the skills which students supposed to know to learn the new concepts. So in remediation, we are teaching all the skills to the students until they are not at the same level, and then we are moving to the next level learning. In acceleration we only focusing on the required skills and concepts which they supposed to know to learn the new concept. So how we can do, we should we should do this remediation and acceleration together, and how we can do this and how when we can use it. So whenever the students are coming to the schools, initially we can do the remediation to set the foundation to they are supposed to know, they are supposed to know till so far till the previous grade. And acceleration, we can teach few skills which students need to acquire the a new concept or a new idea which skills they are need. So this is the way we can teach the students for when they are going from one grade to next grade, and whenever they have this learning loss. So combining both, we can address this learning loss more effectively. So as I said, remediation is very important because like remediation is setting up the foundation of the students. So it is very important to pay attention on this remediation. And why this remediation is important? Because as I said before, we are teaching these foundation skills, and it improves their basic skills which they supposed to know to learn the other subjects as well. If the students are coming back to the schools and they are getting this support, definitely it reduces their behavior issue. They are more attentive in the classes. It impact their academic success as well, because they know their all the concepts are clear, and now they have the clear concept, so it automatically boosts their confidence and they feel more motivated to learn new things. So research is saying if the students who do the remediations perform better academically in higher classes, because all the foundation skills are already covered in the remediation. Now we know why remediation is important. Let's move ahead and see what steps we supposed to follow, and how we can do this remediation. So first, as I said before as well, diagnose the student. First is to identify the needs of the student, where their current level learning are. Based on that, provide the do the intervention and provide the support to them. And also, meanwhile providing this support, it is also important to monitor the progress as well, how much they are able to understand and where they are right now. Let's move ahead and see every steps in details. So first is identify needs. So in remediation, it is very important to identify the needs, where are students right now, because based on that we will be providing the support support to the students. So one of the most effective and easy tool is to identify this learning losses, diagnosis assessment. So in diagnosis assessment will help you to understand what is the current learning level and what are the current knowledge of the student for this particular topic and for this particular grade is. So diagnosis assessment is different from the other assessments. In other assessment, we are just knowing the overall performance. In diagnosis assessment, we are knowing where these loopholes are and where this learning loss and learning gap is happening. For example, in other assessment, maybe the students are performing 5 out of 10, so it is showing maybe student half of this class is not performing good, and that's why they have scored 5 out of 10. But if in diagnosis, it will help you to understand if they have scored 5, why they have scored 5, what kinds of skills they are lacking, what kind of knowledge they don't have. So it will help you to know where you're supposed to students are supposed to know, and what the students improvement area. So for example, if the students are scoring 5 out of 10 in English, so in diagnosis you will understand if they have scored 5, so are they able to are they facing any challenges in reading, are they what kind of phonics are they facing issues in phonics, or are they are not able to understand the meaning. So it will help you to know where this gap is happening, and based on that you can plan and organize teaching material, because now you know in English, if a student doesn't know the vocabulary, so you will focus on the vocabulary and have the teaching materials, and it will help you to close that loop, teaching learning loop. So how you can do this diagnosis assessment? You can you can ask question, open-ended question to students, and you can ask this close-ended question to from the students. So in close-ended, you can give any statement to them, 3 into 2 equals to 5, and you can ask them, this statement is correct or not. If the student is saying this statement is correct, it will help you to understand 3 into 2 equals to 5. Like maybe they know the addition, but they don't know the multiplication. So here the gap is happening. So again, you can ask them the open-ended question as well. Instead of giving the answer, you can just ask them 3 into 2 equals to what. So this is the way you can ask the questions to the student to understand this learning gap. So what kind of tools you can use for this? You can use your last year question papers. You can use the workbooks and worksheets which is available in the textbooks current year or previous year. You can form your own survey and questionnaires which skills you want to assess in the students. You can have this oral test whenever you are beginning any chapter, any unit. You can ask them oral questions to check their understanding where they are. Or you can use this pre unit test as well, which is given before the whenever we are starting any unit. It is given before this unit. So this is the way you can through this tool you can do the diagnosis assessment. Along with this, you can use other tools as well. So we have a diagnosis assessment tool is which comprehensive assessment, which we have built with the Pratham. So it is based on the NCRT, and we through these tools we are seeing what kind of gaps is happening in the students. So let me share these tools with this tool with you. You can see on my screen, this is the tool we Varthana and Pratham has developed for the English and maths, and this is the grade third sample. So in we have developed this tool based on the NCRT, and through here we have put the question based on the progression, like are they able to understand this concept or not, are they able to comprehend this concept or not, are they able to apply this concept or not. Based on this progression we have put the questions, and in this tool we have covered last two grades as well. So in grade 3 we have questions from grade 2 as grade 1 as well, and grade 2 as well, to understand what they are learning level, and you can provide support to them. So we have look at pictures, it will help you to are they able to see anything. Then they are asking what the missing word is, and we are progressing here. Before we ask the single one line question, then we're progressing, we are giving them reading, and based on that we are asking the question. So you see we have progressing first understanding, and then are they able to apply this understanding or not. So then similarly we have in maths as well. We have this word questions, open-ended question, close-ended questions. So it will this tool will help you to understand what the current learning level of the student, and which kind of skills they are lacking. So apart from this, but Pratham has their own another tool as well, which you can also use to assess the students. Let me share that tool as well. Pratham has also designed their own tool to understand the current learning level of the students. Here they have given the story, paragraph, letter, words. So based on if are the students able to understand where they are facing the problem, are they able to recognize the words or not, are they or they are facing the issues in the words, letters, are they able to read facing issues to read the paragraph, or are they able to based on the story, are they able to giving the answers or not. So through this you will know what are the current learning level of the students. Similarly, for the maths as well, so word recognition, and they have the subtraction, division. What kind of skills students are don't have? Are they not able? If they are not able to do the subtraction, so it means they were not able to do the division as well. That's why they are facing the problem in the division as well. So it will help you to understand in deep what kind of skills they are lacking and where this gap is happening, and based on that you can prepare your support program. So we'll be sharing all these tools with all of you. If you want to use, you can use your question papers and your tools, and if you don't have a time, and so you can use these tools as well to understand the current learning level of the students. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so we have talked about the different diagnosis tool, what kind of tools you can use to understand the current learning level of the students. Let's move ahead and see. Now we identify the learning needs of the student, and what kind of intervention we can do and provide support to the students. So first, like as I said initially as well, through the remediation, we are teaching them this foundation skills, or teaching core skills which they supposed to know, and they're supposed to know, and they will need to learn new things. So how you can teach this core learning skills? One of the most proven in scientific way is the spiraling method. So in the spiraling method, you are repeating the same concept again and again. So it can store in their memory, and they it will store in their memory, and they can use later as well whenever they need it. So let's try to understand this from example. So in TA, diagnosis assessment is saying that 10 students are not able to are not aware of this place value, and 6 students are not able to do even a add single digit. So first you can revise and revisit place value for this 10 students who are struggling with it. Then second, you can do the single digit addition with these 10 students who are struggling with the base value, and the students who are struggling with the addition with the single digit addition. And with the whole class you can do this 2-digit addition. So this concept is revising you're revising the concept again and again, and you're emphasizing on this concept, so a student will know the importance of it. Will know the importance of it. Other is the focus on the personalization. So in the remediation, we are focusing on this. We are identifying their learning needs. So once we know the learning needs, how we can personalize the intervention and program for them. And sometimes it can be, when we are personalizing this based on this, it can be time taking as well. So what teachers can do, they can collaborate with the other teachers and create this profile in which they can identify or list out what are their learning needs, and what are their strengths and weaknesses are, and based on that you can customize your lesson plan. And you can also use the technology to provide the support, what kind of support they are lacking. So how teachers can do this? So again, understand through this example. So again, the same example we are using, 10 students are not aware about the place value system, and 6 students are not aware of this single digit. So first you're creating the profile of the all students. So in that profile you will get to know 8 students who are visual learners, who can learn through the whenever they are seeing anything, and 10 students who can understand betterly when they are hearing this. So based on this, your identification on this profile, you can customize the lesson for both kind of students, and you can provide supports to videos and to audio files or other learning materials to the student based on their needs. Another in this remediation is need to emphasize on the content or the skills or concept we'll be using in the future learning, and how you can do that, how you can do this, decide prerequisite content. So suppose if they are going to write something or draft something, for that they should know the punctuation. So here for writing something, they need the skill is their skill they need is the punctuation as well. Now you have decided the prerequisite skill which they need. Now based on that, you're designing the lesson or you're creating a short course for them. Now you're blocking the time for that. In that particular time every day or whatever the time you want to block, you are focusing on this prerequisite skill. How you can do this? So for example, if your grade 3 is you're going to teach the fraction to them, and the prerequisite skill is the division. So now you can create a short term course on this division, how you can teach the division, and you can dedicate 1 hour to a week. Here you're teaching division to the students. Other strategy can be is the project based learning. So through this project based learning, you are giving experience opportunity to the students by doing something, and through this project learning you are in relating the other subject at once as well. Here students are bridging the gap between their in real life situations or experience as well. Here they are learning by doing, so it will retain in their memory more because they are experiencing it, and it will improve the collaboration as well. So through this project learning, you're not only focusing on the knowledge and skills, you are focusing on this other gaps as well, communication gap and motivation gap as well, because here here students are collaborating, so it will improve their communication, and they are doing by themselves, so it will motivate them as well. So how you can do this? So again, your diagnosis assessment is saying students, sixth grade students are not able to comprehend the theme or central idea of the text. So you can divide the students into 2 or 4 group, and you can ask them to create a project on the news worthy, and you can ask them to collect articles which is related to science. So through this project you are teaching through articles how to read and grasp the central idea, and through this you're also teaching them the science as well. Other way is involve parents and community. So parents play a very major role in students learning. So they should be also part of this remediation as well. So how you can do this? You can improve this family communication by sharing their progress on daily basis to them. You can ask a student to bring a parent to the class, and they can learn together. And you can also invite professionals from the community who can come, any painter, any gardener, any farmer who can come and share their experiences as well. Again, through this you are also, apart from the skills and knowledge, you are also focusing on the communication and motivation gap as well. So how you can involve the parent in this? So your again DA reports are saying the students are struggling with reading and multiplications. So you can share this daily progress and where the schools students are with their parents on daily basis through messages or diary notes. Then you can ask parents to read together at the home, and they can you can ask parents to solve multiplication with the student at the home. Even they cannot solve it, they can sit with the student. It will motivate them to learn through this interventions. You can do the remediation with with the students. Now we have seen what are the different strategies for closing this learning gaps. Now, how should we design our remediated classes, and what kind of instructions we should use when we are doing this remedial classes? One instruction can be one to one. So in one to one, you are focusing on the slow learners, or they have any particular need, like when you're doing the focusing on the personalization, and you are teaching them in a different with the different learning materials. Another can be the small group tutoring. Here now in one you are focusing on the students who are struggling with one concept. In the small group tutoring you are focusing on this two learning two learning gap students. Then you can have this peer-to-peer tutoring as well. You can ask the students who know the concept, they can help the student and they can teach the student. Or you can invite the older students as well from another grade. If you can invite the students from the fourth grade who can teach the students of the third grade. So this is the way you can design your remedial classes and use different kind of instructions in your remedial classes. Now we know how we can conduct these remedial classes. It is very important for us to the monitoring and evaluation as well. It will help us to understand whatever the instructions we are giving to the students, or whatever kind of the intervention we are doing with the students, is it impacting or benefiting the students or not. So first way can be the check for understanding. So whenever you are teaching them any concept, just ask them questions in between. If you're teaching them the multiplication, just ask them question 3 into 2, 3 into 2, or you can ask them 10 into 2. So if the students are able to tell you the correct answer of 3 into 2, or 3 into 2 is 6, so now they have understood the multiplication. But if they are not giving you the correct answer of 10 into 2, they are saying 10, so it means they can do the multiplication, but they cannot do the multiplication of two digits. So here you can understand where this gap and what is their current understanding level. Another, you can have this end test whenever you are done with any done teaching the concept. You can at the end of that concept, you can have this end test to understand, to check where they are lying and how much they were able to understand. So you can have you can use this from the textbook, which is already available in the textbooks, or you can use this worksheets as well. Another is the summarizing. This is one of the very interesting way for the students. You can ask the students to summarize whatever they have learned so far in the class. So you are giving students the opportunity to reflect by themselves. When they are reflecting them by themselves, it will help them to understand where they are lacking and what kind of support they need, and it will also help you to understand whatever they have understood, are they able to like comprehend or reflect on this or not. So through this, you can do the monitoring and evaluation. So now we have seen in remediation, first identify the needs, provide the do the intervention, and it is very important to do the monitoring and evaluation. These are three steps in the remediation. Let's move ahead and see how we can implement these three steps in your classes and how we should conduct this remediation. So you can decide a time when you want to do the remediation. So you can dedicate a 20 or 40 minutes every day to the remediations, or every day or 2 to 5 times a week with your normal classes. So you can if you want, you can integrate this remediation with your current classes as well. So here, just see the sample how you can implement in your classes. So first, you can, whenever the students are coming, so you can start with the assessment first day and first morning. You can do the diagnosis assessment of the students, and again you are going with your current grade level subjects. At the end of that day, you can do this data analysis of this assessment, where it will help you to understand where this current learning level of the student. From the next day, you can start providing them the support and start conducting remedial. So first day you can have next day you can have this remedial English. In this, you are doing this one-to-one interaction. The students who need the one-to-one interaction, the same, and again you continue with your current grade subjects, and at the end of the day, same subjects you can teach in the small groups as well. Next day again you can teach the maths, again one-to-one instruction. Then you continue with your current grade level, and at the end again you can do this small group learning with the students. And in the mid of the week you can do this check up and quick check up understanding, because whatever I teach in last 2 days, how much students are able to understand as well. It's very important to monitor and see the evaluation evaluate a student when after very frequently whenever we are teaching any concept to them. So in the in morning you can teach, you can do assessment for the English, and in the end of the day you can do the for the maths again. You in the next day you can do this peer learning for the maths. Now you know where students are lacking, and you can provide this support through peer learning. uh, at the end of the day for English again you can do the peer learning, and at the end of every week whatever the concept you have tell them so far, you're doing the evaluation, and at the end and same day you are generating the progress report as well. So through this you can integrate the remediation, and you are focusing on every step. You're doing the assessment, providing the intervention, and along with you're also checking and doing the evaluation as well of the students. So now we have seen how we can implement this remediation with our current grade. So now we have now I would like to know from all of you what you think. If we once we done the remediation, once we done the remediation, can we continue with our current grade learning level, or student will need more support on that? So for that, I'm releasing a poll again. You can see a poll on your screen. So 92 people have said once we are done with this our remediation, we can continue with our grade level content, and 8% said no. 8% said no. We still need some kind of support. So even after this remediation, there are chances students need some kind of support and some kind of learning which can help them to transition in new grade level learning. For that, you can use the acceleration. So in class transition, you are doing first you are doing this setting the foundation through the remediation. But still there are chances you are teaching them 4 skills, but there are chances when you're teaching them the new learning concept, they need one more. We need to cover one more skill at that time. So for that, we can focus on the acceleration learning to speed up the learning. So let's move ahead and see what is the acceleration learning. So acceleration learning is we are moving forward with our current grade level content, but we are providing the support whenever this skill is lacking or they need skill to learn new level content. We are determining the most efficient and effective way so student can experience this grade learning based on where they are currently, and what kind of benefits of the acceleration are. So here we are speeding up the content by providing the support to learn new skills. So definitely it increase the coverage of grade level content. And others, now we are providing this support to them to learn new grade level learning. It increase the student success, and it definitely through this acceleration they definitely they understand this concept in more better way. So let's move ahead and see how we can do this acceleration. So now we have done, once the students are coming, we have done this remediation, and these four topics we have covered in in the remediation in grade level in grade one for whatever they have learned so far. Now the grade one student is going to grade two. Now we are supposed to teach them the sentence structures. sentence structure. For the sentence structure, uh, our focusing skills will be the part of speech and punctuation, the punctuations. Even though we have teach them in the remediation, but teaching that new concept, we reteach. Maybe we need to reteach this concept one more time so they can understand this concept more effectively. So this provide focusing on this specific skills to learn new grade level learning is called the acceleration learning. You're providing support to learn specific skill. So how you can do is you can revisit the topic with sharing with the vocabulary. So whenever you're teaching any new topic to them, and so you can share the important vocabulary to them, so create this to activate their activate their prior knowledge. So if you're teaching them part of speech, if you're teaching them the sentence structure, so you can talk about the part of speech. You can ask what you have learned in the part of speech, what kind of how many part of speech we have. You can also share this learning materials and videos to them to support to activate their previous learning. And you can do this targeted instructions as well. So even though you have covered all these things in your previous classes in the remediation, but there are chances few students are still not clear with this concept, and you can target these students, and you can give this one-to-one and target this instruction to clear this concept so they can understand sentence structure more betterly. So in remediation, we are covering all the necessary skills students are supposed to know till that grade. But in acceleration, you are focusing on the skills which students are supposed to know to learn the new grade level to new grade level of content. So you can depending on the need, you can do that. So for 10 days, if you think your students need only 10 days remediation, you can for the 10 days you can do the remediation and you can cover these skills. And but when you are teaching any topic to them at the time, if you want, you can cover these particular skills, and you can think in remediation you don't want to pay much time here, you can cover that skill during the that chapter. Through acceleration you can do that as well. So it depends on your need and requirement. You can divide the time for the remediation, and you can divide time for the acceleration. But we need to start with the remediation to set the base. When the foundation is set, so it is easy for us to do the acceleration learning or speed up the learning as well. So we have talked about the remediation and acceleration. Now would like to know from all of you, which strategy would you like to use in your classes? That you can use your Q&A box as well. If you want to speak, you can raise your hand as well. I would like to know, we have talked about different kind of strategies and concepts. I would like to know what kind of, what strategies and interventions and ways you want to like to use in your classes to address this learning gap. You can use Q&A as well for this, and you can raise your hand as well. I can see Karthik sir has raised the hand. Karthik sir, I have given you permission to speak. You can speak now. Karthik sir, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself. Someone. Ramneet said they would like to implement this participatory and collaborative strategy in their classes to address this learning loss. And one said the test method. Bharti ma'am said the test method. Bharti ma'am, when you're saying test method, are you talking about the diagnosis? I can see one more person raised. Bharti ma'am, I have given you permission to speak. If you want to speak, please unmute yourself and speak.
First of all, we will revise the thing to the student, and then we can take small tests like addition, then subtraction, then multiplication, like that. And in English, we have to take phonics. We should say we can show them pictures and ask them what is this picture, what are the things.
Okay, so ma'am, you're saying the revision, you will revise the concept first and then you will check their understanding and then provide the.
Yeah.
Kartik sir, if you want to speak, I have given you permission to speak. If you want to speak, otherwise we can go ahead with this session. Thank you all of you for sharing which strategies would you like to use in your classes. It can be remediation, collaboration, and the revision as well. So let's summarize what we have covered in this session so far. So we started with the what kind of trends we are seeing in the students when they are coming back after this summer break, and how it is impacting the students and why it is happening and why it is important to address this summer learning gap. Then we have talked about the different strategies. We have talked about revision. Then we talked about the remediation, different stages of remediation. Then we talked about the acceleration, how we can accelerate our learning by providing this prerequisite skill support to the students. So as I said in the beginning, Vartana do provide academic support as well. So for that, we have our Vartana partners as well who provide academic support. So first we have LEAD. So LEAD is a innovative tech-based solution. It has all the curriculum, textbook, and teaching methods. It has one-to-one solutions solution. They have integrated technology as well, which can help you to make your school into convert your schools into 21st century 21st century skill. Another, we have this Kian. So Kian is this multimedia computer. So it has this projector, it has this DVD player, it has the audio system as well. So through using this, you can make your your classes more interactive and technology. So it's very easy to use and very easy to integrate in your classes and make your learning more effective by using different DVD players and audio systems. So if you want to know more about this Lead and Kian, you can write us on the at the hello@vertana.com, or you can contact us on this number. With this, we are coming to the end of our session, and I am sharing a feedback form in the chat box. I would request to all of you, please fill that feedback forms. So I have just shared the feedback form in the chat box. Please fill this feedback form. It will help us to understand how we can, enhance or improve our webinars better, and what kind of topics you would like to know. You would like us to conduct webinars on. And with this, we are coming at the end of our webinar. Please fill the feedback form before leaving the webinar. And thank you so much, all of you, for your participation and making this webinar interactive and fruitful for all of you, for all of us.